This is exactly how I would approach learning Facebook ads if I were to start from scratch in 2025. For context, I've been advertising on the Facebook ad platforms for over a decade. I spent over $320 million profitably on meta ads and driven over $1.6 billion in meta ads attributable revenue. I've personally helped over 100 brands scale to 6, 7, and 8 figures, and I've even scaled a single brand from $1 million a year to over $500 million a year, 3 years in a row. So it's fair to say after all this time in the Facebook ads industry, I know a thing or two. And if I could go back in time, knowing what I know now, this is exactly how I would learn Facebook ads from scratch. First, I would start out with the marketing fundamentals, meaning I wouldn't even start on the Facebook ad side yet. Why most people fail is they don't even understand marketing when they start running Facebook ads. So before even diving into Facebook Ads Manager, I recommend reading these 2 books. Number 1, Cash Advertising, and number 2, Breakthrough Advertising. Breakthrough Advertising is one of the most OG books of all time, and it will teach you A to Z, all the most gangster techniques on marketing. Cash Advertising is a little bit newer one. I think it made in the early 2000s. This one has more up-to-date marketing strategies and advertising strategies, but these are the 2 books that I recommend that I've actually read that have profoundly impacted me as a marketer and made me an absolute killer. Then alongside these books, I would focus on the marketing principles to start. So what do I mean by that? I mean focusing on absolutely mastering what a marketing funnel is. That means I would master the AIDA framework, which is essentially what a marketing funnel is. How you bring a user from awareness to interest to desire to taking action and buying an actual product from you. This is the bedrock of all marketing, and it actually really simplifies it because really marketing is just a funnel. It is really just the awareness level a person has in regards to the product you're selling or the services that you're selling. And within the AIDA framework, I would focus on ideal customer profile. This means that whether it's your brand or for a client's brand, you always want to focus on the easiest person to sell to. The biggest mistake people make is not having an ideal customer profile and just really marketing to anyone and everyone. Let's make this easy on ourselves, right? And the easiest way to have success with your marketing, whether it's for a service or whether it's a product, is focusing on your number 1 ideal customer profile, meaning the easiest person it is to sell to. Really hyper define this person, talk to them in the way they like to be talked to, and the results will follow. Another marketing fundamental that people get confused by are metrics or KPIs. There are so many marketing metrics that you really can get lost in the sauce there, but really you want to focus on the core metrics. The core metrics that I truly focus on are CPC or cost per click. How efficiently and cheaply can we get someone to know about our brand and actually get them on our website? A lot of people say, oh, high CPCs don't matter. I think that is garbage because literally, why would you want to pay an expensive price for someone to learn about your brand and end up on your website? There is a world where you can have holy grail ads that give you the best metrics across the board. That is what I'm always after. The second metric is CPA. Quite simple. It's the cost per acquisition or customer acquisition cost. And next is return on ad spend. This is more or less the ultimate metric because this determines your profitability. So really these are the kind of the 3 metrics that I really focus on the most: cost per click, CPA, return on ad spend. And next, this is something that I didn't learn until much later down the line, was thinking about Facebook ads not only tactically, but also strategically. So you want to start on the strategic side first before diving into the Facebook ads platform. What I mean by that is you really should look at the business through a bird's eye view before diving into the ads platforms and executing on your goals. So really you have to take a step back and think, what is the overall goal of the business? What are we trying to do? Who is the customer we're going after? Have we already hit that customer too much and we need to go after an ancillary customer profile, right? You have to ask these questions and get really clear on what are the strategic goals of the business before you can actually go and tactically execute on these goals. If you don't start with an overall strategy, you're just going to be doing stuff without any purpose. And really every single campaign in your ad account should have a purpose, and those purposes are derived from the business. So start with the business strategy and then dive into ad account tactics. And the business strategy should drive the tactics that are being executed on in the ad account. Now let's move on to some of the biggest mistakes that I made when I was first starting out with Facebook ads. The first one was listening to everybody else's ideas versus following my gut. There's a lot of bad actors, bad gurus in the industry that act like all their strategies are the biggest, the baddest, the best of all time. And these guys also change their strategies literally every week, every month. They're doing something new, trying to sell you on some new strategy. All of your gut, if you learn the marketing fundamentals, your gut will tell you all you really need to know. So ignore all these dogmatic gurus out there. Learn the marketing fundamentals, read cash advertising, read breakthrough advertising, learn the AIDA framework, focus on the ideal customer profile, and then you will have built a strong foundational base of marketing knowledge so you actually can trust your gut gut and not have to focus on all these random gurus who say a bunch of outdated strategies or strategies that clearly just don't work. And going a little bit deeper on that, one of the biggest mistakes that I made was listening to too many people, meaning I would other media buys or talking to other brands and figuring out, oh, what's this brand doing? What's that brand doing? Who gives a crap what all these other brands are doing? You need to have tunnel vision. Again, focus on your business goals and craft your tactics around that. Not saying you shouldn't listen or hear out what other people are doing, but really everyone's trying to like flex and be like, oh, we're doing the best stuff all the time, right? I've had the most success by truly coming up with my own ideas and testing my own ideas. Yes, every now and then there might be an idea from someone else that I might test. However, I do not actively seek out what other media buys are doing. I try to keep everything in-house, the ideas in-house, because really that is how you innovate and how you really beat the competition, is by not doing what everyone else is doing. And another mistake I would make was overcomplicating things. It's really super simple. It's traffic times conversion rate times average order value equals revenue. A lot of people overcomplicate it with all the metrics, hold rates, swipe rates, all these metrics everyone's talking about on regards to creative, regards to ad accounts, contribution margins, this and that and the other, right? Everyone likes to act like they're so smart talking about the data. Ignore all of that. It's super simple. Again, it's traffic times conversion rate times average order value equals revenue. And then what are the costs of the goods, right? What is the cost of the ads? That is how you determine profit. You don't need to make all these crazy spreadsheets in order to be successful as a brand. Really just keep it simple, focus on profitability, and you will be okay. I promise you that. And next, let's talk about the brand foundation within the Meta Ads ecosystem. So something that it's super important to learn is all the different platforms that interact with Meta and just the backend stuff that is important to make your Meta Ads work correctly. So number one is you got to get comfortable with Shopify, meaning there's a Facebook and Instagram app on there. You got to get comfortable with how that interacts with Meta. That's where the pixel is found, the Facebook and Instagram shop is found. That's where the conversions API is found, or how much data is being shared. So really get yourself comfortable with Shopify. The best way to do this is, kind of start your own brand or just start your own Shopify account and see how it all interacts. But it's super important to get comfortable as possible with Shopify and the Facebook and Instagram app within Shopify. Next is you want to get comfortable with Events Manager. So Events Manager is within Facebook Business Manager, and that is where the pixel data lives and where you can really understand and see how many sessions is the pixel picking up, how many add to carts, checkouts, searches, purchases, all that sort of stuff. So again, you got to get comfortable with that. Read up on it as well. You can go through Facebook Ads Blueprint and they go a little bit deeper on the events and how the pixel works and all that good stuff, and understand the underpinnings of that before getting too deep into the Facebook ad accounts. And now let's talk about Facebook ad campaign structure. It's super important as a new advertiser to keep things as simple as possible. People hear all these people talking about different bidding, different attributions, different crazy campaign structures, all these different tactic strategies that all these gurus are trying to sell you on, right? Gotta just keep it very simple. Meta has become extremely simple in a positive way as well, where some of their out of the box campaigns are actually the best campaigns to run when you're starting out. The first campaign that I recommend every single brand to run as a new brand is Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. This is the most successful Meta Ads product of all time. It used to be done out of product ads. Advantage Plus shopping campaigns overtook them. And this campaign is a winning campaign, meaning this campaign can win for any brand that runs it. If it's not working for your brand, that is literally a brand problem. It's a creative problem. It's a website problem, or it's, your product that sucks is a problem. Advantage Plus itself is not the problem. So this is the number one campaign I would run out of the box. Keep it simple. You can literally almost scale to 7 to 8 figures just with this campaign. It's not what I necessarily recommend. However, if you were just to go out of the box, you just started a brand and you want to run some ads, Advantage Plus shopping campaigns is the number one campaign I would recommend in order to keep it as simple as possible. And now let's talk about creative strategy. Creative is such an important aspect of Facebook advertising and success. And so let's dive into the underpinnings of that and what you should actually focus on as a brand new advertiser. So the first thing you should focus on is just keeping everything as simple as possible. The biggest mistake new advertisers, new brands make is just trying to do a bunch of different things at once, meaning trying to test a million different videos, a million different static ads, a million different themes, a million different concepts, right? And so you're just all over the place, and you really want to do one thing really well versus doing a bunch of things subpar. So really pick video or pick static ads first and focus on that, and focus on getting one of them to work. And you're going to do this by using simple, proven formats that work. And I'm going to share with you what formats these are. Number one is problem solution ads. These are quite simple. If your product solves a problem or your service solves a problem, that's what you should focus on. Addressing the problem, letting people become aware of the problem, and then positioning your brand as the solution to the problem. So this is a proven format. That literally is one of the core marketing fundamentals, and the core reasons why any brand exists typically is because they solve a problem, right? And so you want to focus on the problem and the solution, and this typically is a winning ad format as long as you execute it correctly. Next is a brand origin or founder story creative. This is quite simple. Just tell the story of your brand or tell a story of yourself as a founder in regards to your brand. These typically do really well. Everyone wants to buy from someone they like, someone they trust, right? And so if you can separate yourself from other brands by showing people there's actually a person behind the brand and you're not a global corp, people love this. People want to support people that are like them, and they don't want to support the global corps anymore. So you have to tap into this. It's a winning format. It's wins for literally every brand who does it that works with me. So I highly recommend doing a founder story or a brand origin story. Tell your story. These crush. And the last creative format that I recommend is us versus them. You could do this on the static side. You could do this on the video side. This can be done by utilizing a conceptual enemy or also an enemy that's just another brand, and really juxtaposing your brand versus this conceptual enemy or against this competitor brand. And now let's move on to how to test creatives as a beginner. It's quite simple. In the past, testing creatives used to be mumbo jumbo, but now it's very simple. You create a testing campaign, a broad campaign with ad set budgets, and each ad set is a test, and that is simply how to test creative these days. And then once you have a winning ad, you graduate the ad from the testing campaign to the performance campaigns, whether it's an Advantage Plus or just a regular broad campaign or an interest campaign, right? This is how you test creatives these days. You have a testing campaign, and then you graduate the winning ads from testing into your performance campaigns. And a quick story about how this creative testing structure has impacted one of my clients that I took on in early January 2024. They had zero testing structure at all. They were just running a bunch of random campaigns. We introduced this testing campaign and started having a systemized approach to testing creative, and we were able to double their meta ad spend literally in a month profitably. So having a testing structure is super important, whether it's for your own brand or for your clients. Make sure you have a proper testing infrastructure in place, and you'll be able to scale way more efficiently and way more profitably. Now let's move on to scaling and the scaling frameworks that I use. So I literally utilize only 2 frameworks and recommend 2 frameworks. And really I only utilize my favorite framework, which is the double up scaling method. It's quite simple. When your ads are crushing, double the budget, then you wait 2 to 3 days. Other method of scaling is the 25% method, where you increase your budget on a campaign by 25%, and then you wait a few days, and then you do it again. These are the 2 methods of scaling that I recommend. My favorite, like I said, is the double up method, but if you are a more risk averse person and you want to take things a little bit slower, then the 25% method is also great. However, I am a high speed, high risk person, and so I always use the double up method. That is not to say you cannot use this other method. I just love scaling fast, and everyone that typically works with me, their goal is to scale fast. And so that is why we use that method in particular. And if you want to hear about the double up scaling method in real life, you can look at my other client testimonial videos for my coaching program, Meta Ads at Scale. And these clients talk about how they were able to scale insanely fast. And what they're talking about is utilizing the double up scaling method. And last, let's talk about full funnel strategies. So in the beginning of this video, I talked about how the marketing fundamentals were so important, and the AIDA method, which again is awareness, interest, desire, and action, which is the full marketing funnel. So that full AIDA framework, you want to utilize it within your Meta Ads account. So what that means is you want to have prospecting top of funnel campaigns. You want to have retargeting middle of the funnel campaigns. You want to have retargeting bottom of the funnel campaigns. So you need to create that AIDA funnel inside your ad account. And this is what makes the Meta Ads platform so crazy successful, is because you can build the AIDA marketing funnel within your ad account. So whenever you take on a new brand, or whether it's for your own brand and you are launching a new campaign, really always think about, where is this fitting inside of the AIDA framework? Am I trying to drive awareness? Am I trying to drive more interest? Am I trying to drive more desire? Am I trying to drive action? Always keep these top of mind when you are doing anything inside your Meta Ads account. And now I'm going to walk you through the basic campaign structure I use to create this full funnel within the Meta Ads account. So typically, these are the campaigns I run for a typical mature brand. So the first campaign, like I mentioned before, that I always run is an Advantage Plus campaign. So that's campaign number 1. That actually is prospecting and retargeting retargeting in one. However, I do put a 30% customer cap on that. So it is more of a prospecting campaign than it is a retargeting. Then like I mentioned, we do the testing campaign, which is a broad campaign. And this is an awareness focused campaign. We want to test this ads on cold traffic. So that is the campaign number 2 I always have. Next, we'll have an interest of some sort, in-market interest. Typically this is niche related, and really we want to focus on getting in-market people to drive desire and action. So technically these interest campaigns are a little bit more middle of the funnel than they are top of the funnel. And last, I always have 2 retargeting campaigns typically within ad accounts. I have a retargeting evergreen campaign, which is static ads and video ads. And I also have dynamic product ad retargeting campaigns. These are separate from one another, and there are 2 separate campaigns. And again, the dynamic product ads campaign only uses the catalog within the ads. We don't run the videos in there, and we don't run statics in there. That's typical mature brand. We have about 5 campaigns running at any given time. Sometimes we have more if we're trying to continually scale, but those are really the core campaigns that I run in order to create that full marketing funnel within the Meta Ads account. And that is literally the exact step-by-step process I would go through if I was going to learn Facebook ads from scratch in 2025. If you follow every single step of this video to a T, I promise you that you'll learn Facebook ads the right way, and you'll save yourself thousands of dollars by doing things the right way the first time. At this point, you really have 3 options. Option number 1 is to do nothing and keep struggling with Facebook ads. Keep watching videos like this, not really taking any action, keep doing what you're doing, not actually acting on these strategies, and you're going to continue to waste thousands of dollars on ads, not to mention time. Option number 2 is to take everything I've shared in this video and try to implement it on your own. This means spending countless hours trying to figure out what actually works. This means making expensive mistakes that could absolutely be avoided. This means dealing with analysis paralysis and the information overload that I just dropped on your head. And that also means missing out on revenue by learning through trial and error. And number 3 is the last option, and might I say the best option. That is to choose to work with me in my program, Meta Ads at Scale, where we guarantee you will double your brand's revenue in 6 months or less, or we work with you absolutely free. I give you my proven frameworks that have driven over $1.6 billion in revenue. I help you avoid the costly mistakes that brands typically make. I also personally guide you through scaling with Facebook ads by creating for you a 6-month personalized growth plan. And again, I guarantee we will at least double your brand's monthly revenue, or we will work with you for free until we get you there. So if you're ready to take the smartest path and work with me directly, hit the link in the description and apply now. I promise you, you will not regret joining Meta Ads at Scale. There's 70+ winning brands in the program. There's also a bunch of case study videos you can check out on YouTube. So make sure to hit that link in the description and apply now. And wait, do not forget to like and subscribe and leave me some comments and or questions. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. I'll see you in the next video.